Sweet.
All right. We are now joined by Pete Pizzoferrato and Nick Morawiec, the owners and founders of O&Co Putters. Guys, thank you so much for joining the Plugged in Golf podcast.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah.
thank you.
excited.
So I've listened to your podcast. I've got a little bit of background. Pete, I know that you are a big time putter junkie. You kind of were before founding O&Co, of course. What was the first good putter that you had? Good in quotes.
First good putter I had was a Byron Morgan DH89. It was
Hmm.
carbon steel, Morgan stamped in the cavity, black oxide. I think that was the first putter I actually spent what I would say decent money on.
Hmm.
Um, Yeah, that was probably the first one that I got into. Before that, I had like a Scotty Cameron Big Sur, believe it or not,
Yeah.
that had it was fitted to like a 34-inch shaft and everything. Kind of funny, but I used that for many years. I
Hmm.
forgot where I actually got that thing, but I was using that for a while, and then I got that Byron Morgan. That was my first where I started to be like, yeah, I really like putters. And
Yeah.
really, once I got that, it kind of transitioned into a lot more putters after that. And that kind of started this whole craziness.
So, what was the last big putter you bought that wasn't O&Co, and are you still collecting anybody else's, or is it just O&Co now?
The last putter that I ever got.
You know, if he's got to think about it, it's been a long time.
That's good, I guess. He's
Yeah,
happy with what you guys are making.
The last,
100%.
I got to think about this because this is a
The
good
last
question.
one I think was the custom you got, no? The blue that you had at the shop for a while.
Blue.
It's kind of a Newport
Oh, no,
style. Which one was
that
that?
was like a pet project. But the last
Okay.
good putter I got, I think. This is tough. This is really tough. I'm going to say, and this could be wrong, but I think it was a Scotty Cameron 009M, plumber's neck, Titleist upside down in the cavity with a bomb on the right of the cavity with an upside down peace sign, upside down Scotty Cameron on the face with like a big blue bomb in the face. I
That
think
that's a
that,
serious piece. I
yeah.
think right now people are either like salivating and they're so in, or they are absolutely turning this off because
Yeah, no,
this is
it
for the
was,
real ones.
I got to admit, I love, and I always will have a place in, like, I think that was the inspiration that really got us into this,
Hmm.
because I loved like the different style of his putters from everything
Hmm.
else. Um, but yeah, that was a cool one. And I remember when I parted with it, I think I was like, should I get rid of this? Should I not? And I'm going to be honest, I've never looked back since I did. And
Yeah,
right now, I own no putters other than my previous gamer from last year and the gamer that I'm going to be using this year, and they're both
nice,
oh, yeah.
very cool. So let's get into the O&Co then. I think everybody who's as into putters as you obviously are, and I have been at various points, has that notion in their head. Oh man, what would I do if I started a putter company? What what got you past just, oh yeah, that seems like an interesting idea, and to the point of, no, I'm actually taking concrete steps toward having my own putter company?
That's a loaded question.
It is. Yeah, if you ask my wife, she's like, "You started this company, you didn't even tell me about it." Like, and it literally just happened like that. Um,
I say we didn't really plan on starting the company. I guess we could start with that. We really just wanted to see if we could do it.
Okay.
See if we could make the shape and make something that worked and was the correct weight and that we could do all the things we wanted to do, right? Could we achieve all of those different face mill patterns, different bells and whistles, attachments to your putter or sound slots, everything, finishes, and we figured out we really could. We had the resources and the know-how to do it, and I think the rest kind of snowballed. Pete realized that we could customize putters. We could give people what Pete wanted, right? Was the full capability to do exactly what you had dreamed of for a putter and what you felt confident playing with. And then I think Pete realized there was a big gap in the market, and saw that we could make a bunch of cool stuff to surround the putters and to essentially make like a brand image. And then of course he came with design skills, and was able to design head covers and so much more. And I guess our capabilities kind of linked up. We
Mhm.
were able to, I mean, I Pete, there was so much that you had in your head of just like things that we could create between ball markers and divot tools. Like it was absolutely endless. I know at the beginning of it, it was just like a water faucet you couldn't stop. I don't know what it was exactly, but he just had a relentless amount of ideas. And
Yeah.
it was a joke that he was Scope Creep Pete. There was just always
Right.
something new that he could throw in that nobody was doing, that he had a concrete vision for. It was really weird. So I don't know if in his head he had a plan. I didn't seem like it did, but
I like scope creep. That's
Yeah.
funny.
yeah.
What is he's got the design ideas, and what is your this
I
sounds rude,
I
but
I
like
get
what
a
is it that you bring?
Yeah, so I do a lot of the photos. So
Okay.
any photos that you see are all taken by myself. Any of the putter like that are stamped, I mean, we obviously do them together, but there's a lot of markers and tools and putters that have been stamped by myself. I'm also at the shop, so it's my dad's shop, so I'm like 30 minutes away. But I'm always at the shop making sure that the manufacturing is going according to plan. So
Mhm.
if we have batches of putters, I'm making sure that we have the correct depths on all of our cuts, and we have the correct putters going to those different procedures, of course, because the putter can't be milled all in one machine exactly how you want it. There's different machines that do different parts. So
Mhm.
I kind of get those pieces done. I'm essentially the manufacturing guy, I guess.
Okay.
I get stuff done around the shop, and if Pete has a question on how to get something done, I usually know what tool we need or exactly what part we have to do to get something done, or the guy who can do the finish for us or something or other. So
Right. Yeah.
I
Cool.
do also some designs, but honestly, I like
Do
Pete's
a lot.
designs much more.
Yeah.
No.
Um, yeah, I do. So I let him do a lot of the designs. He has good character, like good character drawings, and a lot of good like scenes that he can always paint. But I like messing around with the metal stuff. I like picking different things in metal that we can actually do, or different options we can supply, or um, I don't know, bunch of exploratory things with the actual metals. I guess
Yeah.
is what I try to focus on.
So it sounds like you guys have like a really nice kind of integration of skills. You know, the design, the manufacturing. Is there any one thing that was missing from your, combined skills where that came to you from somebody else? Is there any one thing that happened that, well, if that hadn't gone the way it did, or we hadn't met that one person, we wouldn't be here on this podcast today because O and Co wouldn't be a thing.
Everybody. Absolutely everybody. There's nothing we could do by ourselves. We had no idea what we were getting into when we first started it. Like without, I would say from the beginning, without my dad, it would
Just
have been
remember batch
impossible.
one, Nick. Just remember
Sorry.
batch one, and like when we started
Oh,
that, and we are like, what did we get ourselves into?
100%. What do we get ourselves into? We were, so again, yeah, we would not have been here without, I would say, my dad in the beginning. He helped us get the drawings done. He helped us get the putter actually manufactured. He understood what we needed to do in terms of tooling, in terms of fixture work, in terms of which procedures we would need to cut on the machine due to the 3-axis restriction that we have, and the tools that he has. He doesn't have every single tool in the book, so we do what we can with what we have, because manufacturing is expensive, especially in the U.S. So I think that was the person that we first met that helped us out. We had another person. I mean, that Pete you kind of met was Tim.
Mm-hmm.
He's our welder. He's been a huge help. He's helped us laser cut a bunch of stuff. He's helped us manufacture things that we had no idea we could even dream of. He's currently helping us build more stuff that we can release during our summer release. There's another guy named Will, who's another manufacturer for us, who's trying to help us machine a bunch of stuff. There's so many people. I mean, it's hard to really name, but there's there's no way we could be in the position we are, do the things that we do, especially even without our customers, right?
Mhm.
Without having a good customer base and the people that even Pete first met, who he was able to get some of the batch one putters to, like that was some of the first founders of the company, the guys who really helped us get our feet on the ground. I mean, there's too many people to thank. It's like people forget that it's literally just two guys. It's us. We're
Mhm.
not a big company. We're not a big corporation who have a bunch of people to respond to emails and to fulfill orders. Like we're two guys doing this as a hobby, and there's no way in heck we could even do any of the stuff that we do without having people to help us. So I mean, there's too many people to name.
Okay.
Yeah, you said it well, Nick. There is a lot of people, and like there's a lot of things we do, but there's a lot of things that we have to rely on other people for, and it's great that they're all very local to us. We've met them along the way, and like
Oh, yeah.
combined, this is O and Co. You know, essentially.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Now, I mentioned your podcast. You guys have a great podcast, and anybody who enjoys listening to you here or is curious about the company, I told you I did a speed run through all the episodes in like a day, and it was really cool to kind of see the company grow and like fast forward over a couple of years. Is that
Yeah.
about the right
Yeah,
timeline?
we're like 2 years and a couple months maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
it's been quick.
and listening to that, it it really sounds like you guys are so excited about everything, which is just awesome. And it really seems like you guys are living the fantasy of like just sitting around like, hey, this would be cool. Let's figure out how to go do this thing. Is that pretty accurate, or is that just me being on the outside thinking everything on your side is
100%
amazing?
accurate. I can remember, like, this is just a silly thing. Like when we were starting to do the bag tags, Nick, and we were able to cut them out of aluminum, and we're like, all right, now we need to find a place that can anodize them. And thankfully, like where the shop is, it's in Massachusetts, where a lot of the manufacturing from the United States came from. So essentially there's places everywhere that can do anything. And I remember Nick was driving me um, over to this company, and we were kind of testing them out. And like when we got the samples of our first anodized stuff, I remember like we were looking at each other and we're like, holy shit, like this is good. Like this is cool. And then we started going on like in the whole ride home, like 20 minutes, we were just talking about all the things we could do now
Mm-hmm.
because now we had the anodizing figured out. And then once we got the PVD figured out from another company, then that was another conversation. And it's like there have been so many of those like aha moments.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's hard for people to understand. But my goal from the beginning was, I know when you start a business, you want to make money, right? We did not make money until a couple months ago, and it's still minimal because
Mm-hmm.
every single time we would sell putters, we would invest that into something else and try to figure out something else, because my goal was, if we can figure all of this stuff out ahead of time and quickly, then we have that behind us, and now we can focus on everything else. And I think we're very close to being in a good spot where we've
He says that
figured
all the
out.
time.
I
Yeah.
know,
Says
I
that all the
know.
time. That's the scope creep talking, man. I'm
What else
telling
do we
you. He
figure
always
out?
says we're almost there. We almost figured all this stuff out, and then boom, new product. We're like, okay.
I know, but I think our honestly our focus now is because we have figured out a lot of stuff. We have some really cool stuff. I think on in the horizon is really just making a lot of putters now,
Yeah.
because what are we at, Nick? Like 104,
Yeah.
maybe. That's not
Yep.
a lot of putters. People like our products, but they want our putters. And if we
Mm-hmm.
can't make putters and get them to people, then like honestly, like Nick always has to dial me back in. He's like, stop making everything.
Mm-hmm.
We need to make more putters. And it's true. We
Hmm.
really.
So that actually leads me to a question I had for later, but you led me there perfectly. You talk, quite a bit about on your podcast that this is not either of your primary jobs. It's the two of you doing a lot of this. You've got kids, there's a lot of time constraints. But you guys moved pretty rapidly from putters into divot tools, ball markers, apparel, all these other avenues. Uh, why?
Scope creep Pete.
Scope creep, Pete. That's it. I think honestly it was that. So I think during batch one we made all the putters. We made it was a little over a dozen, I think, and it was crazy. Making the putters was crazy. Like Pete said, we had no idea what we got ourselves into. And then he started saying, "Well, we made these out of metal. What else can we make?" And we had another contact who was able to help us make more stuff. And then we ended up just trying out the ball marker and divot tool situation, and it eventually just snowballed. People started
Mhm.
asking for custom stuff. It was obviously like a cheaper price point than a putter. It was a quicker turnaround than a putter because there's less parts.
Mm.
And Pete at home can stamp them because, of course, to stamp a putter, you need jaws to hold the
Mhm.
putter so that it doesn't move on you, and of course not to scuff it up while you're hitting it. And so Pete's able to, put these down on his desk at home and stamp them there. I'm able to stamp them at the shop without any extra fixture work. So it's really easy to get those kinds of things done on our own time at home, or when
Mm.
I'm at the shop in our own space. With the putters, it's very different because we don't have all the tooling, and he doesn't have the vise to hold the jaw. So there's a lot of constraints, but I think that's why. But the scope creep Pete really definitely pulled into why we have so many different things. And yeah, we try to delve into whatever we can, and our minds go crazy, and we try to always supply a good breadth of products for the drops, just because you never know what somebody's into. We try to satisfy everybody we can, try to have something for everybody,
Yeah.
right. I mean, like, that's our goal at the end of the day.
Yeah, and the short answer is a lot of the stuff we made is because I wanted it on my own bag or in my own
That
bag,
too. Yeah.
so I had to figure out how to do it.
And he
I
tries to keep everything.
I do. I do.
I love that. To me, that's the best answer. Anytime I've interviewed a lot of people out of different companies, and it's always I wanted to scratch my own itch, and I think it's
Yeah.
the best answer there is. I think it leads to the best stuff. Um, what uh, Nick, were you as into putters as Pete, or at all before you got into this world? No. Okay.
Not at all. I started
Okay.
golfing a couple years ago. I would say maybe 5 years ago, I went for my first time golfing, and I am not good.
Okay.
And I got into what I'm doing now really because of Pete. I started working for my current company, and Pete was there, and he just kind of pitched me the idea of, hey, do you want to make some putters? Essentially, he got bored and was just like, what can we do on the side for fun? What can we
Hmm.
make ourselves?
Yeah.
And that's really what it came from. I mean, I wasn't ever like unveiled to the market that was putters. I didn't know that there were custom putters. I didn't know that
Hmm.
there were, like, because I understand what manufacturing costs. I know what a custom putter would cost, and I spoke to the manufacturing facility, my dad's facility, about what actually this would cost us to create, and the quote was insane. And I was like, I don't know how somebody would be able to afford something like this. And sure enough, there's a market for it.
Hmm.
So I was not even akin to that. And so when Pete told me that there's a market for people who want custom putters, exactly what they're looking for, and we had the capability to do so, and we were able to do whatever people wanted, I think that completely opened a door for creativity. And now I am golfing, and it's funny to see the transition happening, because I didn't think that I would be as much of a golfer as I am becoming now. So it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should see Nick's bag. He's like out
Oh
there for
man,
like third time, and his bag is decked out, looking like.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
Well, so
bad.
so Pete, I'm going to direct these, I guess, a little more toward you, since you've got that background with the custom putter world. What have you seen in the world of putters, custom or high end, however you want to look at that? What have you seen that you want to emulate? Is there a company, an approach, anything you see that you feel like they're doing X right, and I'd like to do that the way they do it in some form or fashion?
yeah. So it's probably a little bit of everything. Um, I had so it started really, like I said, with the Byron Morgan,
Hmm.
right? Um, I had conversations with him because he made me about three different. Well, the first one I bought secondary market. Then he made two others for me, custom. And I had conversations with him. And then I remember the last one that I had wanted. I think Steve, which was like kind of his sales rep,
Hmm.
messaged me and he was like, "Yeah." He's like, his health isn't good. I don't think he's going to be making more putters. And I was like, holy crap, like what just happened within the course of like 2 years? Um, and really from there, it was, well, what else can I get? And that's kind of how it got me more into Scotty Cameron. And then I started, getting those, but wanting other things from Josie Mac made. He made me a few that
Hmm.
we made some really cool putters with. And then let's see who else. There was Kingston, which is another custom putter company, made a couple there. And I did end up getting a couple Lamb secondary market. And they were all very cool. Like I love them all. I just don't know what it was. And maybe it really wasn't because it was something 100% that came from me or from us,
Mm-hmm.
but I'd get them and I'd lose interest, and then I would sell them. And I wasn't out there to flip and make money off them. I know there's like a ton of flippers, and that's
Mm-hmm.
fine.
Yeah.
But I would just lose interest. I want something else, and I can't afford to have 50 putters. Like
Sure.
that's not it. So I kind of jumped around. Um, but really, I think where it came from was I love design, I love art, I love creativity. Nick actually worked with me when he was much younger, when I had another a graphic design company,
Mm-hmm.
essentially another side business. Um, and we were both into, like, totally pivoting all this. We were both into cars and customizing and modifying cars,
Okay.
and with Japanese imports, I think, for the most part. And now Nick's into more German vehicles, but um, it was taking like a car that was really nice and then modifying it to be even better. And
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of that, no matter what, like, that's ingrained in us, and we just want to kind of make something better. So I think some of the things that make some of the other companies cool was, Scotty had cool stamps, right? So I had a ton of ideas, and a lot of them are based off of my children and the things that we like, and some of the things that Nick likes, and how we can kind of relate everything. So they all have a reason. If you go to our website, we talk a little bit about each of our stamps and kind of where they came from. Um, but you can put them together and tell a story. And I think that's cool. But also, if someone has, like, if they want to spend the money and this is what they want, like they want a stamp that looks like this, I'll design the stamp for them. We will custom make the stamp for them, and we'll stamp it into their putter. It's
Mm-hmm.
not going to be cheap. It's not going to be, turned around in 2 weeks, but we'll do it. So I kind of wanted to be able to do everything and anything and really make something that's very personal, and one, works well, two, you love it, and then you can start accessorizing it, kind of just like a car, kind of just, like golf. And I think it's all kind of the same thing. Um, yeah, and it seems like it's kind of working.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now I'm going to ask kind of the other side of that, and you feel free to throw as much shade as you want here, or none at all, and be diplomatic. That's fine. What do you see in the putter market that you don't want to emulate?
There's a lot. There's a lot. We talk about that a lot.
I think
I
it's a
mean,
So
worthwhile thing to think about.
yeah.
I'm
So
curious what you see that you don't
so
like.
so the tough thing is, and I think where we're in a good spot currently, is that what I see happening is there's been other companies like us. We're certainly not pioneers. We're certainly not the first to do things, but they lose their excitement and allure as they start trying to make money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're in a good position where it's nice to make money, but we don't need to make money. So we can stick with very much one off, one of one, or very small batch items. And as long as we can sustain that, that's kind of what I think is going to keep us in a different space than some of the bigger companies. Because everybody, once you start making it, okay, well, you made 100 putters. Now let's make 1,000. Now let's make 10,000. Now let's make 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
And this happens with everyone. It happens with Lab, and it happens with Tyson Lamb now. And this is no disrespect, but now they're pumping out so many putters that people are losing interest. And it shouldn't be any surprise, but that's what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we can make it at a smaller scale, continue to make everything custom, every ball marker for the most part is one of one, every putter for the most part is one of one, or we do just, like I said, very small batches, then we can hopefully stick with that. And that, for the foreseeable future, is our plan.
That's very cool. I love the idea, not catching that disease of more. I think that's definitely been the downfall of some companies that we may have been talking about earlier. What is something, opening back up to either of you? What's something you haven't done yet that you're hoping to do? It could be a new kind of product, could be something you want to do to a putter, something that's on the menu, on the horizon for you.
lefties. Lefties. I'll say it before Pete says anything else. Lefties, because
Okay.
Pete has been pushing them off forever, and I'm going to make sure that they get them done. I get told all the time, screw
This
the
far away.
lefties. I know we are very close. We are very close, but lefties 100%
Yeah.
is the next big thing that we plan to do for ourselves.
Okay.
Um,
We've been saying it for a very long time, and I feel bad for all the left-handed fans of ours. We're very close, but
I've got lefty friends, and they're
doing
asking.
manufacturing methods from our first, so it'll make it hopefully easier for us. It'll make it more modular for us, and we're trying to solve a lot of the problems that we're faced with right now in just manufacturing. Um, so I think yeah, lefties are coming soon. I'm not going to say in high quantity, but they're coming. And as soon as lefties are done, Nick doesn't like this, but we'll talk. As soon as lefties are done, we're moving on to the mallet. We have it all designed; it's ready to go. We just need
Yep.
to machine it.
Very cool.
And I think once we
That's
have at least those heads out there and those head shapes, I'm going to say this, but I know it's not true. For
mhm.
the next year, I'm comfortable, but I know we'll just start designing another one as soon as those are done. But
I know what's after the mallet. I won't say it though, but I know exactly what he wants to do after the mallet.
how does
There's
it?
there's a lot of plans in the future, a lot of plans, but definitely those two next.
Very cool. As a small company, newer company, what are your thoughts on tour? Like getting your stuff on tour. Uh, any thoughts around that?
Honestly, a lot of people have asked us that, and
Hmm.
my stance on it right now is I don't know what we would do if it got into a tour player's hands,
Hmm.
and I think that would disrupt everything we're trying to do. So I wouldn't be mad about it, but it's not anything we're trying to push.
Fair. Do you have any haters yet? Are you guys big enough that you've gotten the hate online?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one of our biggest things is that we try to please everybody, even if somebody's mad at us, like specifically a customer who's bought something from us, regardless of what it was, we always try to make it right.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, as you grow an audience, I'm sure you as well, you probably have haters in some way, shape, or form. You've done something that hurt somebody's feelings or you did something wrong. But we don't try to really hide from it. We kind of embrace it, and if we can, we remedy it. I
Hmm.
know there's a story of one of our first customers from batch one, who absolutely hated us, texted us at like 4 in the morning, screaming at us and demanding his money back because his return putter wasn't shipped like the same day he expected it. So we made the situation correct, made sure he got everything and that he was happy. And now he's one of our best customers. He texts me every single day, sends me pictures of his putter. He tags us on Instagram all the time. So we always try to take any sort of negative situation or negative hate or anything like that. We try to always turn it around, but you can't always please everybody. There's no way you can, but we try our best. But I mean, from our direct customers, I don't think there's any sort of hate. For people online, yeah, people just complain about our style or that the putter's not usable or blah blah blah. It's artwork. That's how I see it at the end of the day. But yeah, there's definitely some haters.
Yeah, I guess I was interested more not in the like unsatisfied customers, of which it sounds like there are not too many, but more like the just the keyboard warriors. And I'm curious,
No.
like what your approach has been to that, either outwardly or just inside your own head, how you deal with that.
I think this is the way one, it bothers me a lot. Like when
Well,
that
I gotta edit that out for your own sake, Pete, because that's just gonna fuel them.
no, it does because I mean, I really do have such like a child of mine, the whole company, right?
Hmm.
And so when I see people not happy, like it does bother me. And Nick and I always talk about it, and we want to do
Yes.
if we can do something, we always want to do the
Yep.
right thing. But
But we've had some random hate. We've had like like a
yeah,
guy joined our Facebook group and just like
is once you get to a certain level, you start getting people that end up liking you or joining you or whatever. And, you know, either the good people or they're not good people. And some people just like to bring other people down, whether they
Hmm.
like them or
yeah.
not. Just that's them. And I need to figure out how to not read comments as much, even though, like I said, I think 95% of our comments are very positive. Um, you know, the thing that I think makes this all worthwhile is we have a Facebook group, not just our page, but we have a group, and we've got like 850 members, let's say right now. And like legitimately, all of them are good people. And we've also gotten some really good admins and moderators that if people just are out there and they're causing drama and they're not about the brand, then they have a conversation with them. And the people, if they don't want to be there, then they don't need to be there, right? So we're trying to build like a really good community where we all get along and we all are trying to be very active on there. And I think out of my years of being involved in this, it's literally the best community I've ever seen. And that's what, that's really what makes this all worthwhile. And without going into too much of like a tangent, what we're trying to do now, which some people think is crazy, is I just was introduced to a virtual reality golf game.
Hmm.
You may have seen this about a month and a half ago. And I've always thought it was like VR, like, ugh, who would ever want to do that? It's a joke. And the first time I tried it, it was the coolest thing I've ever experienced. So now what we're trying to do is take that community of really cool people, if they're interested, get them hooked up with the game, get them hooked up with a headset. And we're trying to kind of join like or make our own virtual golf league so we can talk to these guys, figure out a way other than just literally chat. How can we interact with them? How can we play golf with them? How can we
Hmm.
be social with them? How can we hear their thoughts, their feedback? And we've got a few guys already that are doing it and that we play like 3 or 4 times a week, and it's freaking awesome. It really is. So we're trying to grow that. And the guys, just I'll throw it out. The guys at Golf Plus are awesome. Like I've already met with their CEO, their president, and had some conversations with them. And they're if you haven't had a podcast with them, do it because they are awesome. And I think they're growing the sport in a way that people aren't they might not imagine right now, but give it a few years.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think like we're trying to take the good people and the people we like and the people that support the brand, and we're trying to kind of give back to them because it's funny. Nick and I were talking about this, and we were like, we're just a bunch of like dorks, really,
Hmm.
IT nerds here, and like it seems like people get something out of being able to talk back and forth with us,
Hmm.
like even though there's nothing special about us, but I feel like it brings people closer to the brand. It makes them feel a little bit more special, and whatever we can do in the little time we have to kind of incorporate them into the brand, the better.
Yeah, that's very cool. Um, what is there a final end goal in mind, like a 1%, top 1% outcome? Do you want to quit your day job and just make putters? Do you want to, it sounds like you don't want to have like a line of stock putters. You don't want to make 1,000 putters, but what would be ultimate success to you?
I don't think I have one. It's,
Okay.
yes, would it be great, because I do truly like golf. If golf could be my life, it would be the ultimate. Um, but I think the only way to truly achieve that, at least with putters, is to be making thousands and thousands of putters and
Hmm.
churning them out. And maybe sometime, the brand will get to a point where that's what people want.
Hmm.
But for now, I think it's just a really fun hobby. um, and hopefully we can build a brand that people keep coming back to. They want to wait for the next drop, they want to get the newest head covers, and all the other products that we're going to be pumping out, and it builds more of a like a lifestyle brand. And um, maybe if the putters are more scarce, maybe that's a good thing. I mean, for us, obviously we'd love to get one to everybody that's on the wait list right now, but it's going to take years, unfortunately. I think where
Wow.
we're at. Yeah.
I mean, that's fantastic. That you've got that kind of wait list, that you've had that kind of reach already. That's
It's
outstanding. Uh,
crazy. It's scary. It's stressful. It's all those things. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
yeah, it's all that scary and stressful. The fact that there's people like wanting to get putters from us in that quantity and to push the wait list out that long. Pete was telling me before we started, he's like, there's some putter makers that have wait lists over a couple of years, and I'm like, that makes no sense. There's not enough people to want to buy custom putters like that. Oh, there is.
There's
There
yeah,
is.
a lot
Yeah.
of sickos out there. Um, yeah. Well, I want to kind of wrap up this section, but I just want to say, I've kind of hinted at it before. I loved your podcast. I would recommend it to anybody. It is just super authentic. It feels very authentic. It feels very real, like a real just look behind the curtain. And I think I think it's got to be a big part of why people are so connected to the brand is they just feel like they know you guys, they're hearing the story firsthand, and I think it's a really cool listen. Um, if you've got
It's
time,
good to
we'll
also
wrap up.
hear that, Matt, because we never ever hear that really. Because I
Really?
mean, we don't. I mean, we put out the podcasts. At least I don't hear back too much about the feedback, really, like how
Oh,
people think about it or like the brand
It's
perception. I don't know. I don't never really hear that side of things.
I mean,
you
I've
know
It's
what?
seen
cool.
people have said like, "Hey, I like the podcast. It was interesting to listen to," but we don't get a lot of comments on
Yeah.
kind of do it and it's out there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like, as opposed to putters, when we post those, we get comments, and like when we post on our Facebook, people are like,
People
"Oh my
DM us and all
great.
this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yes." It's one of those things I think we just do because, like I said, we're just trying to be as transparent as possible and keep people up to date
Hmm.
with
Yes.
what's going on. Like, we just really kind of keep wanting to drive in the fact that I know you want putters. Don't get mad at us because we can't make a million of them, but
Yeah.
we're trying our best.
Yeah.
And I think we've made a lot of good strides in the last 6 months, Nick, or so, that
Oh yeah. Yeah.
should make our custom process as efficient as literally we probably can be with our time. So that's going to help a lot. It's still going to take time, but it's going to be
Yeah.
better than it's been. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Very cool. Well, Pete, you set up a great little display there. Is there anything you want to show for the YouTube audience? You can before we get to our back nine segment, anything you want to put in front of the camera and tell us about?
I've got some head covers and stuff. I think, for me, and I think Nick too, like, we're all car guys, right? We started as that. So we thought it would be cool, and we
You gotta
made
show them the carbon one. Yeah.
this. Let me see this. This is one of our Fast and the Furious
Cool.
inspired.
Yeah.
It's like a gold carbon. We've got the Supra there, but we tried to incorporate our own logos, our own design style into it. And we've released so far two. We've released a driver head cover, the fairway head cover, and now we have the hybrid and the blade coming soon. So you'll be able to, like, over time, collect the whole set.
Hmm.
So I thought that was a pretty cool one.
Yeah.
I don't know what else I have back here, but the other thing too that obviously people like this was our first. So we worked with Sugar Skull Golf on this,
Yeah.
um, and we worked with Enrique Romero, which I think was a really cool person to work with on the design of it. He has a lot of ties back into old Scotty days and things like that, so it was fun to work with him. But when we did it, this was like our first one, Nick. What did we make? Like 30 head covers, maybe, if
I don't
even.
even think that many.
Could have been
24,
24.
27, something like that.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so we did. Let's see if I can grab this one. So we did like the special, which was a
Uh-huh.
white one, and
Yeah.
obviously when you get into it, but things like this now are like, what's crazy is like they're sought after,
Yeah.
and people are paying like scary money for some of these things, and I'm like, so we're trying to do more of that. Like this one, I hadn't seen anything like it until we did it, but this one's like an iridescent,
Yeah. That looks really cool.
and this was our special that we most of the times we don't show off the special until someone pulls one, and
Hmm.
then we'll take it and we'll post it on like Instagram. So that was a cool one, and when people started grabbing those, they got super excited. So it was something
And
different they've never
and
seen,
it
right?
took like a week. It took like a week before anybody got the special because I know here the biggest thing is I take the photos, Pete loves them, and then he's itching to post them, and
Hmm.
we have to always hold him back. The
Yeah.
worst thing is when the special like that looks so crazy on pictures, and
Hmm.
he's just like, somebody needs to pull it so I can post this picture. It's insane. And then he keeps texting me, he's like, should I just post it? Should I just post it? I'm like, just give it a minute. And then
Right.
eventually somebody gets it, and then he's firing it off. It's like
Yeah, it's
clockwork.
it's kind
Yeah.
of obsessive. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what. Like I said, that enthusiasm comes through on the pod. It's why I wanted to talk to you guys. It's why I think people,
That's awesome.
want to have your stuff and want to follow the brand and be part of it. So, just continued success to you guys. I wish you all the best with that. Do you have a couple minutes? We'll do our rapid fire segment.
Sure.
Jeez.
All
Yeah.
right. We'll do this. Pete, I'll have you answer first, then I'll have Nick for each of
Okay.
these questions. First one, maybe an easy one here for you. Be a company guy. What is your favorite club you've ever owned?
My favorite club I've ever owned. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I just got the new, and I didn't think I was going to like these, but I just got the new SM10s oil cans
Okay.
by Titleist, and I didn't like them when they first posted pictures. I'm like, oh my god, what are they doing? But when I got that club in hand, I love the attention to detail they put in, from the shaft, like the brushed satin shaft, to the grip. Everything is dialed in. Like, it's literally, tomorrow is going to be the first day I swing them, so I'm excited and see how they actually play. But they're beautiful. They're
Okay.
probably one of my most favorite non putters that I've ever owned.
Okay.
My favorite is definitely prototype number 2, O and Co. It's
Is that your putter, I assume?
it's technically not. Technically, it's my dad's.
Okay.
Um, but I keep it in my bag because he doesn't keep it anywhere special, so I just hold on to it for him. But it's the second ever putter that we have, and it's the only prototype putter that's still in one piece. Prototype number 1 is truly a
Unreal.
prototype, and it's all mangled and messed up from trial
Okay.
and error.
All
Try
right.
to
But
bring it back to life. Prototype
yeah,
number
we
one.
should. We should. But it's the sunset putter. If you ever go through the Instagram sunset.
Okay. Pete, what is the best part of your game?
Short game,
Okay.
but
Nick?
yeah.
I was just talking about it. The hybrid that I have is fantastic. So my fairway is fantastic right now.
Okay. Pete, what is a feature you hate to see on a golf course? A lot of houses, forced carries, a lot of OB, anything in that.
Honestly, I am the happiest when I'm golfing on courses where I can't see or hear cars driving by, like where you're
Okay.
kind of nestled away and it's quiet and you get nature all around you. I think that's the best.
Okay. Nick?
Courses that have way too much fairway near the road. There's this one course that I play by where everybody slices into the road, and it is very scary. And
Yeah,
it's like half the course, so I don't
that's
like that.
dangerous. Not good. Pete, what is your favorite golf destination?
I haven't been to a lot of them. I really enjoy playing TPC River Highlands. That's close to me. But also Tiburon in Naples, Florida, is another course I really like playing.
Okay. Nick, I know you're a newer golfer. Any favorite golf destinations yet?
Local to me, there's a very, very nice club called Great Horse. It's a club that a lot of my friends of friends have gone to and have spoken so much great stuff about it, but I've never been to it, and it's very expensive to get into it, so I don't think I will.
Okay. All right. Pete, what is your go-to club around the green?
58-degree well, up until I got the new ones, it was a 58-degree Vokey.
Okay. Nick?
Same here, 58 Vokey. It's like an
Okay.
SM6, old and
All
it's
right.
stamped, but it's beautiful.
Cool. Pete, who is the tour pro you would most want to golf with?
Whew. That's a good one. That's a good one. I think, honest to God, there's probably a million, but I think I'd have a good time with Joel Damon.
Oh, okay. Not a normal choice. I like that one. Nick, anybody come to mind?
I would say DeChambeau because he is extremely intimidating. And he
Okay.
seems very smart, and he's kind of
Yeah,
pushing the boundaries in a lot of ways.
that's a good one for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
is the very bottom of my personal list, but that's okay. We can have.
Hey, that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Pete, what's your favorite thing to drink after a round of golf?
It usually ends up with an IPA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nick,
Water.
just water.
Just water.
Okay.
Just water.
All
Stay hydrated.
right. Pete, if you were the golf czar, you can change anything you want about golf, professional golf, amateur golf, anything you want. What's the first thing you're going to do?
Jeez, this is not going to be rapid fire because this is a good
That's
one.
okay.
Why don't we
It's
go to
gonna be
Nick?
quick.
Go to Nick first so I can think about
Sure.
this.
Take away the neck length restrictions. The amount of comments that I see about that,
Oh.
and the amount of like actual concern I hear from people about the neck length concerns. I would
That
remove
is
that. Just
that is
stop
a
having people
putter
ask.
maker's answer. I've never heard anything remotely related to that before, but I like it. I
Yeah.
like it.
That is a good one. I still haven't come up with anything.
I knew that one right away, Pete. Come on. Rapid fire, man.
You know what I hate, to be honest, is cart path only.
Yeah.
I think, can we just eliminate that? I'll try to be, I'll try to be gentle on the fairways, but get rid of cart path only.
Would if we got rid of cart path only, could we just say no carts at all that day? Or is that not that's not an acceptable
I'm
solution?
okay with that. I most of my rounds I do walk, so I
Okay.
guess that could work. But when you're in those tournaments, it's like it's cart path only, and then it ends up taking 6 or 6.5 hours to finish a
Yes.
round because of that.
Yes. Yes.
Miserable,
For sure.
miserable.
For sure. Last question, Pete, if you could tell all golfers one thing, what would it be?
Just have fun. Honestly, just have fun. Don't take it too seriously. Enjoy the day. Enjoy being out in nature. Enjoy not being at work.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Nick?
Same thing. It's funny. I would just say stop caring so much. It's a game. Have fun. Stop being a snob. Like enjoy what you're doing and live in the moment. I mean, stop thinking too much about it.
Fair enough. Well, Nick and Pete, this was great. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for what you're doing with Owen Co. and putting your passion into it and sharing the whole thing with us on your podcast. Again, please check that out if you're interested in what they're doing. Follow them on Instagram. And again, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for
having us,
having
Matt.
us. Awesome.
Sweet.